Hello out there, vegan weirdos, and welcome. This is Vegan Freaks, the podcast live on the web. I'm Bob.
And I'm Jenna.
And we're the Vegan Freaks, and we're here to talk to you about being vegan, being freaky, our book, our show, all kinds of things. We got all kinds of things in mind to talk to you about in these podcasts over the next couple of weeks and months and years, hopefully. So, I don't know. We're hoping to do this show, how often do you think?
Maybe once every other week.
Once every other week, once a week, as often as we can kind of pull it together and feel like it. Because, I don't know, we're kind of disorganized. We're not always with the program.
Definitely.
Yeah, we kind of have a hard time sometimes doing this. But yeah, we're going to try to come out to you every so often, talk to you about what's going on in our lives and what's going on in our vegan freakdom here. So, you know, basically we've been running a blog for a while.
Yeah, we've been getting lots of good topics and thoughts and comments from a lot of those out there who've been reading our blog, and we've been sharing them and put them all together and wrote a book about it.
That's right. So our book, which is, and this site's tied into our book is called Vegan Freak, Being Vegan in a Non-Vegan World. And the book basically is a guide for vegans. I mean, it's a guide for new vegans, for people who've been vegan for a long time, or people who are really just thinking about veganism.
Our goal, really, with this book is to get you to love your inner vegan freak, because vegans are always thought of as freaks, no matter what part of the country you go to, except maybe certain parts of California, Portland maybe. Vegans are freaks just because by what they do, by what they believe in.
Yeah, I think that's so true. Is that so often when you tell someone you're a vegan, they look at you like you just bust a fart or something like that, especially if you tell them you're a vegan for animal rights reasons.
Yeah, many people deep down understand the fact that killing animals is wrong, or the way we treat animals in this country is wrong, but they'll never make that second step in then stopping eating them. No,
they never. Very few people do, and that's why we think being vegan is kind of a gift. I mean, it's a gift in your consciousness. You get to see something other people don't get to see, and you decide to act on it. And another thing I've noticed is that, you know, our culture is so narcissistic that the moment someone realizes that you're a vegan for health reasons, they're completely supportive. Oh, I'm so happy for you. I noticed that, well, you're going to take care of your cholesterol, and that's so brave of you. But the moment you mention animal rights or animal liberation, or the fact that you don't think animals should be ours to eat or to wear, people just think you're completely nuts.
Definitely, and it can manifest it in so many different ways. You get in arguments with people just look at you funny. It can affect, you know, people where you work, where you go to school, where you just hang out, your friends, your family.
Yep, so all that stuff is kind of what prompted us to work on this book. And that's kind of what we're coming into this with. And we thought we'd take some of the things we talk about in the book and talk about them here and apply them to our own life. So like Jenna said, we're hoping to do this every so often as we can kind of pull the time together. Because even though we wish we were full-time vegan authors and lecturers and all that junk, the truth of the matter is that we got a real job.
Yeah, we got the day job.
And it kind of sucks, too.
Right now it does.
Yeah, it really does suck. I mean, we like what we do, but right now the job's kind of, well...
A job.
Shitty and fucked up.
Yeah, too.
Shitty and fucked up. So, anyhow. So this book, we spent a lot of time putting this book together, and we did it not because we plan on becoming the next HarperCollins or because we plan on becoming any kind of famous authors or anything. We actually just wanted to create a book that would help people to go vegan, stay vegan, and be vegan.
Yeah, we want people to realize that it's really not that hard. It's not a sacrifice. It's not deprivation. It means celebrating what you do have, celebrating the wealth of food that you do have, celebrating not taking another life to sustain your own, just the celebration of that.
Absolutely. And we were really fortunate in this book to have Isa Chandra Moskowitz write the foreword for us. And if you don't know who she is, you really should know who she is. No, but seriously, if you don't know who she is, she's one of the co-hosts of the Post-Punk Kitchen, and she's coming out with a pretty kick-ass book in November, right? In November, called Vegan with a Vengeance, and there's some byline after that, something about 125 recipes that rock and are logo-free and all that stuff.
Right, cheap, logo-free, good eats.
Yeah, all that stuff. And, you know, she runs a forum, too, over on her site, thepostpunkitchen.com, and if you run over there, you know, you can hook up with other people who think her book is cool, and other kind of punky vegans, kind of folks like us, right, tattooed weirdos.
Exactly.
So it's pretty cool. So vegan, I mean, I don't know. We've been vegans now for quite a while, and it's always really interesting when you we were talking earlier about how you tell someone you're a vegan and what they say to you. But what's even weirder is when people mispronounce vegan.
Definitely. It makes you laugh, and you don't want to laugh right in people's faces, but they come up with the weirdest things.
They really do. And one of these friends of mine at this place where I work came up to me and said, "So, Bob, how's that vegan thing going?" And You try really hard not to laugh in someone's face when they say vegan. It just sounds really weird, right? So
Yeah.
I said the vegan thing's going pretty well. Oh, vegan is how you say it, huh?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I had someone in my department asked if I wanted vegan food.
Vegan food.
at a meal, and I said, well, no, vegan. Yeah, vegan's good. They can handle vegetarian. There's no problem whatsoever. As soon as you take out the Aryan, it gets problematic.
I've also heard people call them vegans.
Vegans, yes.
Like you're somebody on Star Trek, or you're from the planet Vega, or
exactly.
I don't know. I can just hear like one of the guys on Star Trek going, "We want to meet with the vegans."
Exactly.
So,
well, most people think we are from another planet, so.
That's true. And actually, part of the forward for our book is Issa talking about how sometimes being vegan does feel like you're from another planet, and now when you feel like you're from another planet, it's like the natives here aren't necessarily always all that welcoming.
Definitely not friendly.
Definitely not friendly. So, but on the other hand, I mean, being vegan's pretty cool, right? It changed the way I looked at the world.
Definitely, and it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life.
Me too, and it's been actually infinitely easier than I had expected. I really liked cheese a lot before I became a vegan. I've been a vegetarian for a very long time before I became a vegan, more or less. But I thought I would miss cheese a lot, and I really don't.
Yeah, cheese is one of the big things that people say, oh, but I could never live without. And once you start eating things without cheese, you realize you don't really miss it that much. You realize actually, when we used to eat it, kind of made us feel a little sick afterwards because it's so heavy and fatty and everything. And just really, you don't miss it.
Yeah, and if you're if you're lactose intolerant, it can, it can make you a little gassy.
Yeah.
That doesn't make for very good company.
No, it doesn't.
So, I haven't missed cheese at all. And I really thought I would. I haven't missed eggs either. Now I look at eggs and they gross me out.
Me too. It's funny, when I was a kid, I never liked eggs. And then I got to college and started eating them and really liked them, going out to eat for breakfast. And then now I've totally lost my taste for them again because I think them to be totally disgusting. And the egg industry is even more disgusting. So. Yeah,
I agree. The egg industry is pretty bad. And what they do to egg-producing hens is really sick. I mean, 6 or 7 of them to a cage that's basically smaller than an 11 by 17 piece of paper. That's just plain wrong. I can't, even if I loved eggs, I could not justify to myself consuming a product that had that much suffering behind it.
Exactly. They cut off their beaks, they put them in these tiny cages, they're never allowed to fly, they're never allowed to walk, they don't move from these cages their entire lives. And not just they're in this cage, but there are cages above them, cages below them, so they're shitting on their, people below them, they have shit on them from the birds above them, and it's just really horrible.
Wow, did you hear that? That's a, speaking of wild animals, that is a local species called redneck. Yeah, we've got a couple of those around here where we live. And for some reason, I don't know, small penises, or I don't know what's wrong with them, but they have to make their trucks as loud as possible. And here we are inside our house talking to you on this beautiful microphone, and all we have is this crazy truck going by outside.
Yeah, and the ATVs and the snowmobiles in the winter are just a bit too much. But anyway.
The snowmobiles can be pretty annoying.
Yes, very loud. They have to make them very loud.
And we live in a place where there are actually signs around the town that say no snowmobiles on the sidewalk.
You think they listen to that?
They don't listen to that, of course. They don't listen to that. So anyway, back to being vegan. We're glad we did it. And if you're one of those people out there that's on the fence about being vegan, we want to try to help you get there.
And if you're already there, we want to help you stay there, because it's really easy to forget why you became vegan in the first place. That happened to us when we were vegetarians. We sort of forgot for a while, and it made us want to, sort of be lax in our principles and our vegetarianism. But if you remember why you're vegan in the first place and you stick with it, it's really easy to keep going. Absolutely.
And I think that what was key for me, actually, was trying to remember why I did what I did, why I made the choices I made, rather than just becoming an automatic habit. And sometimes it can become that, and you forget why you're doing what you're doing. Yep.
And then you think, oh, well, I can buy this product with, gelatin in it because, it's just such a pain to look for other things. And then you realize that, no, I decided to become a vegan because I wanted to avoid all animal products, I wanted to avoid all suffering, and that there are a lot of things you can buy without gelatin, without the animal products in it, and it's not that hard.
Absolutely. It's really not as bad as anyone would think. And, I mean, in terms of all the life changes I've made, veganism is pretty much one of the easiest. I think, for example, I hate moving. I really, really, really fucking hate moving. You know, I can't stand it. And veganism to me is easier than moving.
True.
Much easier.
True.
Veganism is easier than learning a foreign language.
That's for sure.
Veganism is easier than learning how to play an instrument.
That's for sure.
Which I've never done.
Yeah, I've done it, and it's definitely easier.
Veganism's easier than learning how to cook well is not all that. Well, yeah, it is pretty hard to learn how to cook well.
Well, it depends. You can cook for yourself, and you learn how to do the basics, and it's not hard.
Being vegan's easier than learning how to set up a podcast.
That's for sure.
Set up a podcast, but setting up a podcast is actually pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. Being vegan is a lot easier than open heart surgery.
Absolutely. It is much easier than open heart surgery.
Or going through diabetes, taking insulin shots, all that.
And absolutely easier than all the other things that might come to you should you decide to keep eating burgers covered in Crisco with bacon bits and butter or whatever Atkins tells you to eat.
Exactly.
So, well, I don't know. I think we just kind of wanted to get this thing started, get it off the ground, talk a little bit about veganism and vegans or vegans or whatever the hell people call us, why we're there and what we're doing with ourselves.
Yeah, and we hope to come talk about a lot of these topics in more detail. And if you ever, have anything that you want us to talk about, drop us a line.
Yeah, we have a contact form on the page, so feel free to drop us a line. Also, at the site for our book, there are forums, which hopefully we can get some people to use. And we would love to hear from you. We really would. And you might think this is kind of like self-promotional. We're trying to sell a book, all that crap. But I can guarantee you, even if we sold a lot of these books, we still wouldn't make very much money. It's not really about selling the book for us. Again, it's about us trying to help people stay vegan or go vegan, because we immediately, I think, that veganism is the first line in moving towards animal liberation.
Exactly. You can't fight for animal liberation without first stopping using them or seeing them as a product.
That's right. You have to start seeing animals as beings that have their own right to live and their own entitlement, rather than as things that you can use for your ends.
Exactly.
And so that's why we think veganism is so very important. And that's why also we think that attacking animal agriculture is important, because something like between 8 and 10 billion animals a year die in the U.S. for our palates.
In the U.S. alone.
That's right, not in the whole world.
Yeah.
So that's why we think veganism is so important. That's why we're here doing this. And that's why we're coming at you on the web probably every other week or every week, or I think we should do it every week.
Whenever we feel like it.
Yeah, we'll try. We can't make any promises because we get busy with work, and sometimes we can't do it. But I would like to do it pretty often.
Exactly. Share our thoughts with you.
Well, anyway, thank you for listening in. Again, our names are Bob and
Jenna.
And we're the Vegan Freaks, and we're here to talk about veganism, and we'll be here every week or other week, or as often as I can drag this poor woman to the computer and make her talk. All right. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll see you around the web.
Yeah, hope to hear from you again soon.
Bye-bye.